I'm here to talk to Lindsay Harper, who's going to tell us all about her latest book. It's a novel and it's called How to Have an Affair. Lindsay.
Hello.
There is quite a chance, isn't there, that people are going to look at the title and think it's not a novel, it's an instruction manual.
That's right. Yeah. The people have already asked me that already.
You could write another book with the same title just on that.
Yes, you could. The reason I've called it that, one apart from the fact it's a very catchy title and it certainly grabs people's attention, is the lead person, the hero in the book, that's what he's doing. He's actually writing a self-help book about how to have an affair. Neither of us are advocating having an affair, but he's writing about, if you do have an affair, what are the implications, what are the pitfalls, how you get over it, all those sorts of things. And my book's about a lady and a man who have an affair out of wedlock.
Which one is having the affair then? Is it the married man or
It's the married woman. Yes, most of mine, being a female, it's the women, which is quite unusual because a lot of the books that I've read, it's the man who has the affair and the woman picks up the piece and how she gets on with her life. But I've done it the other way around. My books have been about the women having affairs.
Books?
Books, yes. My next one's called How to Have an Amicable Divorce.
If there is such a thing.
Yeah.
Are you speaking from personal experience? Writers are always told to write about what they know.
Yes, I am. I mean, when I first started writing, which is a long time ago in my 20s, I didn't have the same experiences, and obviously this is my third marriage. I'm incredibly happy now, but up to then I've had 2 or 3 affairs actually over my lifetime.
Are they something that you would recommend, or that's in effect that the book would recommend?
No, definitely not. I mean, when I've been writing my blog, people have also asked me that question, are you advocating affairs? I'm saying no. And one of my questions somebody asked me is, what advice would you give somebody who was having an affair? I said, stop it. Because it's incredibly traumatic, it's incredibly stressful on the person who's actually having the affair. And in my book, I actually say that the majority of people that really want to be found out. I know a lot of people who may be in this situation think, I certainly don't. But really, in effect, they do, because it brings things to a head. They either stay together or they split up. But it's incredibly stressful is going through the experience of all the turmoil that's in your mind.
Isn't there an argument, though, whether in real life or in fiction, that someone is having an affair because they want to? People may well stay into marriages because of financial reasons, or family or children, whereas they choose voluntarily to have an affair.
Yes.
So it may be something they do want.
Oh yes, I mean there's a massive website where you can actually go on and go out with married people.
Really? Do you know the? Well, I'll ask you later.
Yes, right. So yes, there are people, and there's actually 2 books called How to Have an Affair that you can buy now. But they are manuals, and they are showing people how to actually go about, if they actually want an affair, to keep it going without being found out. So yes, I agree with you, but that's not what my book's about, and that's why I've put novel on the end, because I'm a romance writer, and most of my books have got a happy ending.
Well, don't tell us the ending of this. In fact,
No.
one of my pet peeves with books like yours is that the blurb at the back can give away too much.
Yes, well actually I don't think mine does. Because mine's not, you see, a lot of the books about affairs, they go all the way through the book and they've not been found out, and it's like the ending is about all being found out and then what happens. Mine actually, and this isn't giving anything away, after a third of the book she actually gets found out, because the majority of the book then is about what happens afterwards, what's her impact to her husband, her family, the rest of her friends and parents and things, what happens to her job, what happens to her mood, and also what happens to the man she's had the affair with. So it's all about bringing and I think that's what's most important, and that's why I think the reviews I've had have loved that, because it's a little bit different to your just standard boy meets girl, etc., and they get found out at the end.
Okay. What type of book is it? Is there humour in it? Is there sex in it? Is it a thriller, or is it just everything?
No, there's no thriller in this one. Some of my books have got thrillers. The second one, for example, has. But this one, no, it's mostly, there's quite a lot of sex in it. Quite a lot of explicit sex, because it's about affairs. You can't possibly write about affairs without the sex. What was the first thing you said? You mentioned humour. Yes,
like
there's quite a few jokes in there and a few, I try to make it as realistic as possible. So in general daily life, there's going to be some humour, there's going to be some tears, there's going to be some anger. So there's a bit of everything. When she gets found out and her husband hits the roof, Obviously there's anger there. Then there's tears because she's devastated, even though she knew that that was going to be a risk. So there's that, and then there's little bits of humour in there as well. There's a really, really funny scene, which when my editor did it, she was laughing out loud. She sent me an email saying she was laughing out loud with it.
Very good. I talked to somebody today telling them I was going to interview the famous author Lindsay Harper. And she thought from the title of the book that it would be a book that would appeal much more to women than men.
Yes.
What do you think?
I do think it. I mean, a lot of the book, I don't think many men will particularly buy it, but I think they will then carry on and read it. It's like when people were reading 50 Shades of Grey last year, and they were all reading it behind newspapers because they didn't want anything to see, or they were reading it on the Kindle because you can't tell then what's going on, what you're reading. But then I know a number of people, men who carried on reading it afterwards. So I don't think they necessarily bought it, and I think this will be the same for mine, but I think men will read it because, particularly, men like reading the sex bit. And when, for example, I gave this to my husband, and when there was some good sex bits, you'd think he was in a different planet. You couldn't speak to him.
Well, if he makes a note of the pages for me. This is the first of a trilogy, I'm told.
Yes.
Is it 3 books on the same subject, or do they feature the same characters?
Yes. They feature the same characters. The main character of the next one is a secondary character in the first one. So this is about a lady called Robin, and her friend is Denizen. The second one's about Denizen, and the third one's about Denizen. So, and some of the books, they'll all have overlapping characters. I could write forever because I'll be really sad to say goodbye to the characters. They're my best friends. I'm my own friends now. I spend so much time writing. But after this is the third one, is How to Have a Happy Marriage, and I'm 3/4 of the way through, and this will where my characters finish.
There is often pressure on new or newish writers from publishers to bring back the same characters. Mm. You can't have your first book as a horror, your second as a science fiction, your third as a romance, because the publishers don't like. Have you been told what to write, or are
Not
you writing what you want?
It's a mostly romance company. They specialise in romance. Mm-hmm. And obviously when I sent that off, they know it's a romance. They've already accepted my second book. That's with the editors now, and that's coming out in May. And then the third one I'm hoping to finish, and we're hoping to get that out. They're about 3 months apart, about September, maybe August, September.
Very good.
And then that will be finished of that series then.
And if people want to buy the book, where can they get it at the moment, and where can they get it over the next few weeks?
It's Amazon and Five Prints, that's the publishing company in America, Five Prints Publishing. So they've got a website, and you can, it's www.fiveprintsbooks.com. Amazon, everybody knows how to get hold of Amazon, and we're in the process of getting the books physically over here from America so people can actually buy. In Waterstones, like my other books, you can buy in Waterstones and Smiths, so they will eventually be there, but it is at the moment just on Kindle.
Are you one of these writers who's when you're writing a humorous scene, you laugh?
Oh,
when you're writing a sex scene, you get excited? And
yes.
When you're writing an emotional scene, there's a tear, yes?
Absolutely. I mean, I can still, there's a section in this book that's very, very poignant, and every time I read it now, I cry. And I've written it months ago, in fact it's well over a year ago since I wrote this, and I still can't read that section without crying.
Really?
So, yeah. Because...
Well, I won't ask you to read it now.
No, don't, because I'll cry. But also that's towards the end, and that would give some of it away.
Okay. One final question, spring this on you, perhaps it's a bit unfair, but let's be wildly optimistic. Books of runaway success, Hollywood call.
Yeah.
Who would you cast?
I've already thought of this.
Of course you have!
Well, Reese Witherspoon I'd like in it, and I can't make my mind up because she's blonde. There's the two of my characters, one's got dark hair with an auburn tinge, and the other's blonde. But Reese Witherspoon is blonde, but I would like her as Robin actually. Matthew McConaughey would be Jay, and Patrick Dempsey is just because I like the men anyway, but they would make a great Dave with Patrick Dempsey.
There's lots of dishy men in it then.
Absolutely. They're both very good looking, obviously, the characters. All the four main characters in the book are very good looking.
How much of Robin is you?
I don't know, you'd have to ask people who read it to see it. There's some of Robin in me, there's some of Denizen in me, there's some of people I've known in other characters. Everybody could maybe see a little bit of them, but I've not based one character on one person. But yes, I suppose Robin's more. Out of all the characters I've ever written about, Robin is probably the most like me.
Lucky Robin. Lucky you. Well, the best of luck with the book.
Thank you very much.
Lindsay Harper, thank you very much.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you.